Hey guys, how are you? Best of friends with a crypto sniper. Welcome back. Okay, so going to just give you an update. Again, we're starting on the dollar. So much about the dollar is important for the global system and understanding your macro for crypto. Yes, I know, so many crypto specific drivers, but they're getting overwhelmed by macro. It's a theme I've reported on consistently. We were one of the first to say it's no longer about crypto drivers. That must have been almost, God knows, when Bitcoin was still 55,000. This breakout of the channel on the dollar index is significant. It's very significant. And this is more and more liking last time I spoke, probably a localized high being put in and some form of continuation pattern for further dollar strengths, despite people saying, well, there's a lot of people on the dollar strong trade. Well, there wasn't so much here. A lot of people would have been maybe closed out, flushed out, or for example, the Hong Kong dollar trade pushing against the peg. We expect to jump in and jump out of that one many times before we get the rewards on that one. A super high. That spilt, but it didn't easily make the lower part of the channel. It just touched with a tweezer bottom while you were a lot heavier during this period. So overall, our view remains is that the dollar is going to bedevil crypto. It's not just specifically bedeviling crypto, it's bedeviling markets as a whole. The core problem, as I featured last time, is that crypto is insufficiently strong even against the risk on of tech at the moment. In other words, you get reflations on tech that haven't occurred to the same degree, with very few exceptions. Very few exceptions. So we as a community have just put on a short. I've given the trade ticket to my guys of what I've put on an alt. I've also taken a slightly more speculative one, but I'm going to cover with you. If you want to know what we've done, you need to be in the community. We'll talk about it maybe on Freeview later on when that comes, but we've been warning and we've been giving quite a bit of the game away by saying don't trust this. 25k was a key level of significance, guys, and so was the 2k for Ethereum, which I think in time will face. I'm going to move tiny bit because it's a little bit windy here. So too was the Ethereum play. So Ethereum was at $2,000 at a key level of significance, and so was Bitcoin. So when we keep the eyes off here for a minute, when we look at that 25k run, you're now down at 21s again. And we warned about this. If you're following the Twitter feed, we've been saying stay out of crypto. Guys are going to say, he's just a perma bear, he's a hater. We get all of that, the lower level comments. I suppose it's there's a silent majority that probably are not that are just, more mature. But this is a technical signal, this basing ascending grind line. We'll only want to have theory for this, that have names, that have defined when and how and what you do with these things. And we were warning that these marginally higher highs were not bullish. People were saying, but it's made a new high, you're getting wrecked, blah, blah, blah. The lowest common denominator guys that love to comment and tell us how stupid we are. And we are stupid sometimes, and we do get it wrong sometimes, but it doesn't matter. It's about taking small losses and making huge gains. It's the risk reward of the trade. You can be wrong 9 times and be a millionaire on the 10th if you do that consistently with a suitable risk reward. You can be right 9 times and lose everything on the 10th if you don't have money management. So, it's not really a game of counting how many times you're wrong or right. This is ego queenism. But this was pointing to real lean on crypto. I don't think it just spills, by the way. So I'm not the extreme bear. I don't just think it just spills straight away lower. It could do and go beyond. I think it will find some sort of support after running maybe 20. And I don't think it takes out the low here on the first try. So I think you're going to set up some shaky ass longer version of this. You didn't, when you sold off here, run the low there. That was your lowest low, but eventually it came, and then you ran that low, you ran that low, and you ran that low, and it was a thriller, it was a spiller, it was all the way from Manila. Anyway, so that's Bitcoin, but some of the alts have been putting out really nice patterns for bearishness, so the ones I regularly cover with you that you'll think to have a look at there is, Maker, I still think this could be so severe that you can still get a sub 1 cent on Hex, by the way, for the Hexicans. I think this is not going to be a pleasant experience for a lot of people. We were highlighting this on Maker for you. That was a squeezy Japanesey. Oh boy, yeah, squeezy those little butt cheeks, and you will hopefully hold on and not have an accident. But at the moment, it's looking a bit accident prone. So that's a spill as well. You could have been short in and around the 1100s there if you'd wanted to. We were giving you these as warning signs that were coming. I mentioned that this is an awful rejection candle for a marginally higher high. Marginally higher high, bang, awfully horrible. So high, that one is not even a higher high, it's a similar high, final attempt rejection. Low volatility through the basing ascending grind line, spill, and so he spilt the milk. Do not cry over spilt milk, my fellow friends. There will be more milk to be spilt, and you can be in early with your cup and saucer, gathering it up. You can say, more gruel, please, sir, to all your overlords. So you could have been short somewhere quite close to 1100, but probably just sub around 1075 if you were aggressive. Could have waited for the break of that relative low there and got in around there. So where would that have been in approximately? All of these levels would have been done. You could have done, it looks like about 1060. You'd be down at 850. Percentage terms, that's quite a bit, my friends. That's quite a bit. It'll slow down a teeny bit. Again, I'm not sure this has got I'm not calling this an absolute spill. It could turn into that. It has happened before. You're just gone. But that did have a little bit of inverted HVF structure in it. This one, I think, has got a little bit more to build before it does that. It could get to these levels. It's not a chase in now. I'm afraid you missed it if you haven't done anything with this information we've been giving you. And that's okay. It doesn't mean you have to be in every trade. That could have been the bigger part of the rising where it's drawn like that. You can see how it gets messy real quick on my charts. But this has been a bleed out, so I don't think it's you would be mistaken if you charged in now, because you could get a bit of basing and a little bit of pushback. But longer run, these structures are not bottoms. This is what we keep saying. Longer run, these structures are not bottoming. Sometimes your job is just to keep people from losing money. There's times when you make, and there's times to just keep people from losing. If you're early, you could actually be making. If you jumped in, as we indicated over there, on the likes of, say, Maker, you would actually be making. And I have made money, 6-digit sums during this bear market, thanks to the fact that it's weak and that you can. So be careful out there. If you're hodling, you could be getting a spank. Our short might be your favorite token. It's not a no-name brander. As you know, we stay generally in the top 10, top 15, rarely put a little foot out the top 25. Maybe you can argue Elron, I don't know where it is nowadays in this one. So these are ones I regularly cover. It's not the one we're referring to in our premium community. That is, in fact, an inverted HVF. That means it gives us targets and stops. Targets and stops for downside. How valuable is that? Managing how much you lose, having a fixed amount that you write the check for, have a multiple, aka it is times a certain amount, let's say 3, for example, bigger in terms of reward. That is something worth happening. But it will still, I think, boggle and bounce. It's earlier doors, but my community need their time. They can get into the trade. They might even want to wait for a rally. I'll discuss this only later in retrospect. That's the value of being inside. We've got to respect the people that are respecting me with their energy, which is money. Money is energy, basically, at the end of the day. Doing good things, hard work, a value add, and it needs respect. Tezos. Also, and we've shown these and we've warned you that these are getting fatigue. There. And across the top as well. What a boyki. Look at that monkey. He's barely climbing higher each time. He is a puffed monkey. So there you go. You got a high there. You got a marginally higher there. You got a marginally higher there. You got a marginally higher here. You got a marginally higher there. You got a marginally high there, and an ever so marginally, absolutely exhaustive shooting star, gravestone freaking doji almost. Gravestone doji wouldn't have that lower wick, so it's just a shooting star. So gravestone doji looks like that. It is flat bottom. That means you open and close. There's no lower wick. But this is, in fact, a shooting star, and it is the final high. Just doing basic candlestick charting is awesome. That's your shooting star. That's your gravestone. This is a shooting star right here. And look at that. I mean, if you just take out simple candlestick, you say, well, I'll get short on the break of the low of the shooting star. You could put a stop way up there, but to be honest, I would say you could even be that tight. And you've already got a bit of a risk-reward thing going on there. Look, as I say, I don't think this is going to just spill through this. I think it gets down. I don't think it runs this low. It's going to find some slowing, bottoming area, and then you might grind some more. Grindy. Oh, it's a pubic bone festival. There's so much grinding going on here. You might just well be at an LGBTQ special app where everybody is thrusting and heaving and hollering. No, not for me, thank you. But that amount of grinding, it gets my short teeth out and I get ready to sharpen the knife for a little bit of downside action. And that's what you can do in a trader in a bear market. All markets can make money. Just most people don't make money in short markets because it's harder. It's harder, especially when they're drawn in a belief system of only love and light moon boys. Every day is a moon day. Well, you haven't had proper mooning and you've been in a predominant bear trend for an extended period. That doesn't mean it's over yet. And I fear that what's going on the macro could put an extra lean that people aren't expecting on crypto. I do fear that. Anyway, Ethereum's given up. That was the shooting boy star that had actually done a pretty decent multiple for, even by most people's standards at crypto, and it has gone up here. How far will it fall? Well, it needs Bitcoin to find a little bit of basing because it won't stay up forever no matter what's going on there if the entire crypto world is going. But I did highlight that shouldering. This is not violent, so Ethereum's still relatively performing okay, even though it's down from its 2,000 and whatever level. I think it was a couple of beers over 2,000, a couple of beers and a burger there. Let's have a look. How much did you get over 2,000? 2,030. There you go. Your $30. That's a beer and a burger, isn't it about right? And there you go, down. So you need Bitcoin to finish and start basing up for this to have a chance of reversal. This could start an interesting reversal pattern, but if Bitcoin then forms also an inverted HVF, A, we'll short that as well, and B, this potential reversal could then fail. But it could have a lusty start because Ethereum has been grabbing the headlines so far. So, it hasn't gone away, and it is relatively less down than many of the others. So you may find, even in a downswinging market, that the ETH-DOM has held on okay. Let's have a look at that. You see it's holding up quite high because it's got the news, it's got the heat behind it at the moment. But it's a heat in a house with a very, very leaky roof, my friends. And watch out. Generally, we trade continuation, not reversals. And I think if Bitcoin is so weak that it's going to run 20, maybe even a touch sub, before it then has another grinding spell, whilst Ethereum could overperform it, which it has been doing. Let's take you back to that. You don't want to chase into this structure. This is what we've kept saying. And everyone was saying, well, you're wrong, it's going up. That's not going up. That's not going up. Figuratively, it's tentatively, marginally going up. It is not the sign of a bottom. It is not the sign of a bottom, generally. And so we continue to assert that, and we trade the bigger time frames. We're not interested in the scribbling and trying to nickel and dime, grab a couple of pennies that are in the fast lane on the Autobahn and avoid that Porsche going 300 kilometers per hour. That would absolutely flatten you. It's not a game for me. Trading is a bit like warriors. They always say, beware the old warriors. The old warriors, beware the old warriors. They've done something right to get to be old in this game. They're probably stronger than they look. They're probably smarter than they look. They've probably got a couple of tricks up their sleeve that are going to catch you with that battle axe and that knife in the sock and that everything. They've taken many a man down and they've come through many a battle. And that's a little bit the same with trading. You can't beat experience and longevity in a game, and many mistakes and scars for which I carry my fair share as well. But this was, again, squeezy, man. That was just awful. So it's just it's a small period of down leg, but the overall structure it sets up is awful. because it came down so hard. You had dollar weakness from 109's Dixie all the way down to 103's 04. Dollar is not back up at 109, although it's looking strong for future. And if it breaks out to the upside, this is going to be pure pain. I think the Chinese crisis could bring this about. I think there might be some crypto-specific heavy news in there because it continues to underperform. So we take Bitcoin, the god market of crypto, remember, and we divide it. And I'll run through this chart again for you, just super quick, so that you are conscious of this thing. Do not lose your hard-earned money. It's about not losing in the difficult times. Let's do that one again. So dividing by IXIC. Let's see if we can get it this time. Yeah, you don't want to show me. I've got it fixed to FTX. It's all sources. Let's go back there. There we go. Get a little bit of action. Now it wants to give me equities. Now we finally get the composite. Thank you so much. That's a break, guys. That is a break of underperformance in crypto to tech market. You would have been better, as much as I hate the control structure, in Apple shares. And we've had these breaks before. Ignore them at your peril. Ignore them at your peril, friends. We've had these breaks before. That ain't bottoming. Hear me now. Splitter. Yeah, you're in trouble. You're going to continue to underperform the tech market. You're almost at the new lows of the last time you spilt really badly. So what? You get a bounce here. Everyone will come on and say you're wrong. Everyone that's of short time frame, that doesn't understand we are trying to position for the macro and downside failure. We don't want to be caught in the traffic playing little long games on 5-minute charts or even hourlies. And you're going to get a rally here probably. But it doesn't mean you're healthy. But this is showing you that the hive mind of all the worth of all those tech brains, including the mix of Ethereum, is down. Let's go total this and include Ethereum and Bitcoin according to market cap. It doesn't get any better. It's divided by the same things. IXIC, this is the NASDAQ comp. And if you take the FANGs, actually it's even worse, by the way. So it doesn't get any prettier. So now you've got a little bit of the Ethereum juice in here as well. According to market cap, it's the second biggest. It's around half Bitcoins. It's pretty caught up Bitcoin quite a lot, and I do think it may even one day get that flippening, but this is ugly as sin, friends. This is ugly as sin. And the overall thing is not bottoming. It's not bottoming. If we draw that, it is not bottoming. Doesn't matter how you cut it. Nasty little squeeze from your splitter, spill back down. This is your total market cap. This is as Bitcoin was making 25 and Ethereum was making 2K. You're on around 90, maybe 91 million. That can't be that's the divisor of it. It's not the total market cap. It's the total market cap divided by the cap of the composite. The value of the composite at the time. So these numbers are relatively meaningless. Don't be confused by them because I'm doing a relative strength indication. So this clearly was a sell point as you broke that blue line that was basing and ascending inside there, and you're down. But this doesn't have the momentum to run this. I don't think it's going to run it. So it's bad. It's not yet the spiller, the thriller all the way from Manila. It's little Pippi from the second story balcony. It's not the big splash from the 40th story. So that probably means you're going to get some form of rallying at some point, but it's not going to be beautiful. It's not going to be super strong overall, in my opinion. I think you're going to grind like this in a channel for a while. And that's your chance to get out if you're not already out. That's my opinion. Could I be wrong? Of course I could be wrong. But technical analysis, probabilities, our tune hasn't really changed very much. And you have to ask, how's it gone? Since we've been saying this, we've been talking about beware the rising wedge. If you're following me on the Crypto Sniper, you would see it. If you're Instagram fans, by the way, we'll be activating our Instagram account more boldly. You can look for the Market Sniper on Instagram as well, by the way. We'll soon be putting out a few things there as well. So, yeah, what else can I tell you? Well, let's look. Did we look at all of them? We looked at ETH. We looked at ETH DOM, which was a relative strong one. Now, this is the key thing about this. As I highlighted in our previous videos, relatively Binance had done well, but if it's not a crypto thing, I'm not holding any cryptos. I am not holding any cryptos. It's all stablecoin season. And now you're having a little spill here. Now this could also do like the Ethereum, but you are substantially down. From the 325s, you might have even clocked a 335 or maybe going on a 340, and now you're at 285. In percentage terms, it's still not pleasant. And again, everything we said we saw in the one, we saw in all of them. These have slightly more steep rising wedges like the Ethereum. And for those that were belligerent and thought we were wrong, we said, okay, if you have to hold something, hold here. And it's done relatively better since this period. It's rallied far better. And it's even beaten ETH. We've shown you the Binance ETH. Go check our previous videos. I'm not going to redo this. By the way, it's in an upside against Bitcoin. But if Bitcoin throws it down, it will come off a little bit. Longer run, we still say it's going through 6.12 in relative strength. That doesn't mean it's a hold. It could just go less down than everybody else. But if you're determined that we're wrong and you have to be in crypto, then rather be in the relative strength one. But don't expect necessarily for it to be bullish. Binance was sort of mid-40s. Now, Sol, my apologies. I didn't mean to say Binance. I meant to say Sol. This guy looks like he's visiting legacy funnels. This will be the classic round tripper. We literally called all of that and sold the high at 260. Can you believe that in terms of that? I didn't sell the high. I called this the high. I actually kept it on too long, so I cocked that up. But a number of our community members did and absolutely killed it. One made, the better part of half a bar. And that's great. I love hearing of those success stories, and I want to do the same for you. And sometimes you will execute better than everyone else. And that's the nature of the game. And well done to you. The method is to be trusted. As a probability game, it should be trusted. There you go. Marginally higher highs. There you go. There's your sell-off on Sol. At a key funnel level, of course it's going to get some support. It's supported there. It's supported there. It's supported there. It's finally spilled into it. It bounced on the stop of another funnel here, and then you're up. So I think maybe a bit more down, and then it's grindy again. Grindy season. This is one of the worst environments for crypto long trading, because you think the bear should be over. It's been going on for so long. You're thinking, how much more can it go on? It's like the runner that's doing a steep hill and you keep getting a crest and calling the top, and then you go over that top and you see there's a minor dip and then there's another 100-meter ascent, and the gradient keeps getting tighter and your legs are burning. Or a cyclist, put your sport of choice in there. It is a wear you down endurance thing where you keep throwing money into a machine you will never see again by buying the dips. It is a buying a dip graveyard. It is, hear me now, this is the macro equivalent of a buy the dip graveyard, and it could get super intense to the downside on macro reasons that have got very little to do with crypto, where they've had booms and booms and booms forever, and they finally now start to get some revaluation on debt, ridiculously overvalued tech stocks. They're tightening the interest rates. People can't afford their rents, can't afford their mortgages. Whole bunch of things start to occur, and then you get a real rout. Remember, go to www.themarketsniper to book a call to become part of the members of our community, and you can find out which alt we're going short on at the moment, and get the updates. Elrond, I've also shown you. Nasty spill. Like that, and also like that. Look at the selling wicks on candles. It's really was warning you. Really was warning you, peeps. Get out, get out, get out. You could have sold at 64. You're looking at 52. As I say, can go a bit lower, but it's a bit late to chase. XRP was at 37s, 38s, now 33s. What else have we done? Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I mean, I don't know how many times I must go around the mulberry bush with the various other alts. The totals are your aggregate. Yes, there are individuals But right now, this is all acting out a bit like, you can see the rising wedge almost perfectly fits the total 3 here, which excludes Ethereum's bullishness and excludes Bitcoin's relative dullness. So if you think everyone else apart from Ethereum and Bitcoin is going to save you, no, you came into the funnel, you resisted, and you're down. You're down. But you got given hope in tiny little increments, and then you get taken back so fast, so far. Really much. It's taken so long, to get from this bottoming box here. I should do it maybe in a different color. Up to that level. Kind of bottoming box here, which you came and retested. Took all this period from that low there, and you're literally almost back on the top of the box here, over there, in a matter of 5 or 6 candles. Say hello to Sheep Bear. Sheep Bear, Sheep Bear. Crypto market, good or bad? How's it going? In dog I trust. He said not so good. He said not so good. He's an honest fella. He's an honest fella. Okay. That's it from me, guys. Book a call, themarketsniper.com, to speak to someone just like you, only 3 years further down the path, in some cases 5, in some cases 1 or 2. We don't hire salesmen. It's totally optional whether you elect to join. You get a proper idea of what we're all about, an offer, and we check that you understand the nature of the game. If you can do that, you can potentially be part of our amazing community. We don't win every time, but we make sure we manage losses, and we get great gains, and actually bear markets can serve you very, very well. Okay, until then, bye for now.